the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cyber Thunder as they bring you Wheels for Warrior here at Indianapolis. Thank you very much for joining me here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I am your host for tonight. My name is K.R. Stolfus, and you might be wondering where Dave is. Well, I had to get rid of him. I'm sorry. I just had to be part of some of the best racing action around, or so I'm told, but we are going to find that out together here tonight. So thank you very much. Dave has stepped away for just a moment. He is going to be back the next time Cyber Thunder Racing League hits the track in their Wheels for Warriors Pro Cup series. Qualifying has gotten underway, and right now I find the right button. Cody Richardson out of Blueford, Illinois, out on track. We are here for race 13 in the 64. One of the first cars that went out on the speedway. We'll see him lay down a time here as he is on the clock. Eric Anderson getting ready to roll through the start-finish line, and now he is on his first lap. A 43. W4W paint scheme and big old nice Turn 3 Racing emblem on the side. I dig it. I dig it. I like it a lot. Dusty Martin out of Tifton, Georgia. Dusty is on his timed lap, so we will start seeing these guys roll in their qualifying times here in just a moment. As Crank Bell, one of the first ones to lay down a time in the 14. A 52.10 out of Crank Bell. Eric Anderson just a little bit slower. Dusty Martin coming in second place, so more times are starting to roll in. Bob Rogerson in third now. Cody Richardson in the 64. Still looking to lay down his first time. He must have scraped the walls somewhere and validated that lap time that he was working on. Mike Grandy making his way out onto the speedway. So the 12 getting up to speed. Patrick Stein on the clock in the 89. As Cody Richardson does go to the top of the leaderboard with a 51.97, the first driver in the 51 second bracket. As Patrick is going to be on the clock this time by the start finish line. We did have 23 drivers sign up for the session here, and we'll all have 10 minutes here in qualifying, lay down their best lap time. To the 89, hard on the throttle, Tom Richter in the 34. Moving in to second place with a 51.99, Jerry Isaacs, also with a 51.99. So the fast qualifying time is starting to be laid down. Stein moves into the top 5. Andrew Caldwell in the 46. A 52.36 for his first time around. The qualifying moving on very quickly here. Almost half the field taking a qualifying time. Richter and Richardson locking out the front row for the moment. Both of them are championship contending drivers. Take a look at the points before too much longer as Jason Dalton in the 22 jumps up to the pole position with a 51.84. Frank DiMaggio, the fastest driver in practice, now making his way out onto this Indianapolis racetrack. Coleridge Fenimore up into pole position with a 51.74. He is going to be one and done. He pulls down to the inside. So a very fast lap time out of the one machine. Dave Sanders in the 77. Looking to come around and set his first timed lap. Sanders going to cross the start-finish line and moves up into 12th place as Andrew Kotska. Andrew Kotska, I believe. I forgot what they told me. I'm sorry, buddy. Trying to remember how to say everyone's names, and I'm already messing them up. Andrew in the 47 now has pole position with a 51.72, a very fast lap time out of the 47. The two of Chris Dean smacking the inside wall, but did lay down a 5th fast time in qualifying. Cole Gray going to jump up into 12th place. So the 88 of Cole Gray and the 95 of Frank DiMaggio are the only two cars on the speedway for the moment. This qualifying is winding down. We are going to step away for the national anthem. I won't go anywhere. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as the drivers are taking to the grid. That means it is time to go through tonight's starting lineup on the inside of row number 1 with a fast time of 51.720 as Andrew Kotska in the 47. On his outside, Coolidge Fenimore in the 1. Row number 2 will be Frank DiMaggio and Jason Dalton. Row 3 will be Tom Richter and Chris Dean. Row number 4 will be Cody Richardson. On his outside, that is Mike Grandy Sr. in the 12. Row number 5, Jerry Isaacs in the 51. Following his outside lane, that is Patrick Stein in the 89. Row number 6 will be the 88 of Cole Gray. And to the outside, Crank Bell in the 14. Row 7, the 35 of Dusty Martin and the 46 of Andrew Caldwell. Row number 8, Dave Sanders in the 77, and on his outside is David Rogerson. Row number 9, Bob Rogerson in the 78 and Eric Anderson in the 43. Row number 10, Matt Shontosh and Paul Turner. Row number 11, Mike Stiverson and Dave Gainforth in the 101. And finally, the last car to start here tonight, the 5 of Eric Moore. "23 cars in this field here tonight. Lights are out on the Chevy Silverado, and we are going to fire them off here for this one. 8 contenders remain in the championship chase. Will one of those 8 win the race here tonight? So far, Coleridge, the furthest one to the front. Look out, Frank DiMaggio and Tom Richter are right there as well. So here we go. Chevy Silverado down and in, and a long wait for that green flag. As the green flag drops, Andrew and Coleridge on the throttle. The 95 of Frank DiMaggio pushing very hard on the 47 down into turn number 1. The 95 of DiMaggio was fastest in practice. Right now, he is trying to wrestle second place away, uncontested from the 1 of Coleridge, and he is going to get it done. But the 47 of Andrew Kotska gets away cleanly. coming around to lead the first lap. 47 has about a 0.3 second lead. Frank DiMaggio in the 95, staying just behind him, and one car way down to the inside. Andrew Caldwell in the 46. Close battle there, but everyone sorts it out going into turn 3. DiMaggio staying right on that back bumper. Can only get to about 0.3 seconds. Looks like he is just kind of content to sit right there and let the 47 of Andrew run out front on the 95. Just kind of chills in the back behind him. DiMaggio does have the fastest lap of the race at a 51.59, but I expect we'll see that change throughout the night here. Just 75 laps in this race, one attempt at a green-white checkered if we need it. And already we're making progress on to lap number 4. Go on board with the 35 of Dusty Martin. Dusty finds himself right behind Cole Gray in the 88. Martin is 4.7 seconds behind the race lead. You see the leaders head off into turn 3. He gets a great run on the 88, but unable to do anything with it into turn number 3. Now into the short chute. You see the 88 was able to get a good run from the middle off. Dusty Martin able to drive in just a little bit deeper. Checking in on the 22 of Jason Dalton. He's found a nice little slot to ride around in here. 22 of Dalton started in 4th, and that is right where he is. So he has not made any progress forward, but has not fallen back any either. Not a whole lot has happened as far as passing. Andrew Caldwell and Crank Bell, so far the only 2 cars who have moved forward more than one spot. Paul Turner also gaining 2 positions from the drop of the green flag, so everyone settled in very quickly here, trying to just log some laps, and not a whole lot of jockeying for position going on. But the battle for the race lead is starting to heat up just a little bit. Frank DiMaggio to the inside of the 47. That is for the race lead. A lot of room being given by the 47. They run side by side down the front stretch. 47 got a great run up off the corner. DiMaggio had to keep it pinched down. Christine in the 2, making a move to the inside as well. He is not going to make it stick. The 95 of DiMaggio, though, does make the pass for the lead. However, that did allow Coleridge to close in the gap. Now Andrew under pressure from the 1. check in on some of the cars at the tail end of the field. Eric Anderson in the 43 right now finds himself in 20th spot. Matt Shontosh just ahead of him. Mike Stiverson a little bit behind him. Eric Moore in the 22nd place, that 5 machine, and then David Gainford in the 101, finding himself in 23rd, 9.7 seconds behind the race lead. So the 95 trying to open up a bit of space on the 47. Andrew leading the first several laps, and now Frank finding himself out in front for the last 2 times around. Coleridge making a move on Andrew to the inside he goes, and Coleridge going to complete the pass off of turn number 2. So you got to start wondering, the 47 of Andrew Kotska maybe burning up his tires running out in front, or maybe he has decided that he's going to try a little bit slower pace, make those tires last a little bit longer. I will say our pace is a little bit slower than our best laps, a 51.59. Frank DiMaggio turning that for his fastest lap. Last time around, he did a 53.40. The tire fall off is the thing right now, and they are falling off very quickly as the 47 makes a move back around Coleridge. Some side-by-side racing action into turn 3, but they sorted out through the short chute. Richter in 4th place, Jason Dalton in the 22 in 5th. Chris Dean in the 2 machine, all over the back of that 22. While all this has been going down, DiMaggio has pulled away to a 1.1 second lead over the 47 of Andrew Kotska. So the 95 fastest in practice qualified in a 3rd, and now your race leader, you're working lap 12 of 75. Jerry Isaacs in the 51, trying to take a peek to the inside of the 14 of Crank Bell. Cody Richardson in the 64, taking a beat to the inside of Chris Dean. Everyone getting single file very quickly in the 64, though. Not quite done with the 2 of Dean. Jerry Isaacs still trying to figure out if he can stuff it down to the inside as the 34 of Richter. Making a move on Coleridge. Richter takes the spot, but Coleridge with the crossover. Back down to the inside. This is a battle for 3rd place. Coleridge, now in danger of losing several spots, that broke his momentum down the back straight. Goes into turn 3 and now 4 to the inside of Jason Dalton, but Dalton gonna get a good run that outside off of turn 4. So too does Christine, and here comes the 12 of Mike Grandy. So Coleridge, who was battling for 3rd and 4th 1 lap ago, now finds himself in 7th place. But just losing that little bit of momentum here at Indy cost him several spots, and now he slides in behind the 12 of Grandy. Meanwhile, one driver who has been steady, smooth, and putting together a good race so far, Frank DiMaggio. Not pushing that car too hard and just logging some great laps. 54.61 the last time around. The 95, 54.5, so a bit faster lap time for him. I do have 70% fuel load here. We are only doing 75 laps. And with 70% of a fuel load, and we'll have to come down pit road. Well, the question is, when you come down pit road, tire fall off being what it is, they're now almost 3 seconds slower a lap than their best laps. So if you made a pit stop, you were one of the first ones to come down pit road, you would gain 3 seconds a lap on these guys who decided to stay out. So it is always a gamble when to hit pit road. You want to be one of the first ones to hit pit road, but you don't want to be so early that you actually add a pit stop to your race. So finding the right time is going to be incredibly important to hit pit lane. Meanwhile, the slide continues for Coleridge. He now falls back to 9th place. Tucks in behind the 51 of Jerry Isaacs. The 34, Tom Richter, to make his way around Andrew. Andrew had some big issues coming off of turn number 4, lost a lot of momentum. So he is going to get swallowed up. So Andrew Kotska finds himself in 5th place with the 12 of Mike Grandy on his back bumper. Look out the back of DiMaggio. He works his way onto the front stretch. You're looking at the 34, Tom Richter, Jason Dalton, and the 22 behind him. So the 95 of DiMaggio just running his race, not being too pressured right here, and gets to hit his marks, hit his lines, just logged some wonderful laps. Dalton in the 22 and Richter, they have switched positions. 34 taking a peek to the inside. Big pack being formed up here, led by the 22. Dalton sails it off into the corner unchallenged, but now the 34 with a run to the inside. We have seen that cars on the outside of turn 4 get a really good run up off the corner, and it makes it very hard to make the pass down the front stretch. As you see, the 22 gets that run again off of turn 4. But down into turn 1, the 34 is going to get a better run, and it looks like on the inside through 1 and 2 is where you want to be. On the outside of 3 and 4 is where you want to be. As we are on lap 20 of 75, our pole sitter, Andrew Kotska, has fallen back to 5th place. The driver who started on the outside front row, Coleridge Finmore, is now in 9th place. Your 2 front row starters have dropped back a little bit. Biggest mover of the race so far, that is the 5 of Eric Moore. He has gained 5 positions from the drop of the green flag. We have been green flag racing from the very start, so no cautions here yet. One car on pit road and making his way back onto the racetrack. That is the 89 of Patrick Stein. First driver to make a pit stop. A long pit stop for the 89. 41 seconds in his pit stall. So 3.8 seconds, almost 3.9. The 95 just continues to put together consistent laps right around that 54.6 mark. But out to a 3.9 second lead over Richter and Dalton. Chris Dean up 2 positions from where he qualified. White and blue, number 2. Finds himself in a 4th, and rounding out your top 5, that is the 12 of Mike Grandy. Andrew Kotska in 6th place in that black and orange 47. Right behind him, Cody Richardson, who started this race in 7th and currently finds himself running in 7th place. Gary Isaacs in the 51, right behind him in 8th place. The 1 of Coleridge Finmore finds himself in 9th. Crank Bell rounding out your top 10 in that orange 14. Dave Sanders in the 77, finding himself in 11th. 12th place right now is Andrew Caldwell. A little bit behind them, that is the 78 of Bob Rogerson. 37, up 2 positions from where he qualified, that is David Rogerson. The 37 getting a little bit of pressure from the 35 of Dusty Martin. Dusty falling back 2 positions, finds himself in 15th spot. 16th going to Matt Shontosh. Eric Moore in 7th place. 17th place, that multicolored 5 race car. Paul Turner in the 4. Right now sitting in 18th spot. 19th is Mike Stiverson. He washes up the track a little bit, but keeps it off the wall. Cole Gray, down 9 spots from where he started this race. He is all the way back into 20th position. David Gainforth in the 101, finding himself in 21st and 22nd spot. Going to Eric Anderson in the 43. All 22 cars there on the lead lap. The only car not on the lead lap, that is the 89 of Patrick Stein. He is 1 lap down. In fact, I believe him to be 2 laps down. Another driver on the pit road, Mike Stiverson, hitting pit lane. Frank DiMaggio going to be the first leader to pit. He pulls it on the pit road. Jason Dalton in the 22 going to stay out. Chris Dean stays out, but several leaders coming down pit road. It is a very, very busy place on pit lane. So just 4 cars stay out. Jason Dalton, Christine, Cole Gray, and Dave Gainforth all stay out. Dalton in the 22, your race leader. Stiverson in the 20, works to the outside to unlap himself, and down and away goes that first group of cars to hit pit road, but here comes Dalton and Dean on the pit lane. Four tire stop and fuel for a majority of this field. In fact, everybody taking 4 tires. DiMaggio down and away, only spending 49.4 seconds on pit road. Very fast time on pit lane for him. He is going to spread that lead out just a little bit further even. Richter in the 34 now moves into second place. 5.5 seconds behind DiMaggio. Randy moves up into third. Andrew Koska is fourth, and fifth place now going to the 64 of Cody Richardson. Jason Dalton and Christine making their way off of pit road. They have fallen back to 7th and 8th place. If you remember, just before we went through that green flag pit stop cycle, so coming down pit road first is going to be huge. Well, the 22 and the 2 came down pit road last. They got an extra lap in. That is going to be helpful for them, maybe in the long run, but they have lost quite a bit of time by not coming down pit road with everyone else. So the 95 is your race leader. Everybody now making their pit stops. Patrick Stein, who was a lap down, now finds himself back on the lead lap after everything gets sorted out, but he did hit pit road very, very early. In fact, everyone pitted on lap 25 or lap 26. Patrick Stein pitting on lap 18 in that 89. So it's a little bit of a short cycle for the 89. one of the closer battles that we have on track right now is Dalton and Dean. Almost everybody running nose to tail here. Green flag pit stops have a good way of stringing the field out just a little bit. And so that is what has happened. So Dalton and Dean running nose to tail. Most of this field is running nose to tail. We go on board with the 12 of Mike Grandy as he gets a run on the 34, but not going to be able to do anything with it. I do want to take a moment and thank all of you for joining me over here in YouTube world. Hope you guys are enjoying the show here tonight. I think the drivers putting on a heck of a race. This Wheels for Warriors USA Pro Cup Series at Indianapolis for race 13 in their season. Outstanding race to be sure. One that has been without a caution so far here in the first 31 laps. 75 laps is our total distance. We will use a green-white checkered if we need to. Right now, it has just been Frank DiMaggio pulling away to a 5.2 second lead. We are watching second and third place. That is the 34 and the 12. Richter and Grandy. They stay single file. That's about the best way that they can be to try and catch that 95. You see he is well out in the front as we go off the back bumper of the 95. But Frank laying down, again, some very consistent lap times and not abusing his equipment here and doing so. Check in on some of our championship contenders that are in the middle of the pack. Andrew Caldwell in the 46, just ahead of the 14 of Crank Bell and Coleridge Fittimore. That is 9th, 10th, and 11th. They find themselves 15.3 seconds behind the race lead. Coleridge in the 1 is our lowest running championship contender. He makes a move to the inside of Crank Bell in the 14. Bell getting that outside run from turn 4, able to hold him off for the moment. The Coleridge sends it off into turn number 1. And that is going to move him into 10th. Crank Bell now sits in 11th. Andrew Caldwell gets some breathing room. Sets his sights, trying to pull away from the 1. Chris Dean in the 2. Another championship contender finding himself in 7th place. Cody Richardson just a little bit ahead of him, the 64. Another championship contender right now in 5th place. Richardson been moving forward just 2 spots from where he qualified. Had a good pit stop, but everyone around him also had very similar pit stops, so not able to take advantage of it there. And then our top 2, Frank DiMaggio and Tom Richter, they are running 1st and 2nd. DiMaggio pulling away. Well, actually, DiMaggio now down to a 5-second lead over the 34 of Richter. I do believe the 95 has backed up his speed quite a bit to take care of his tires and save a little bit of fuel. He just came out of the gate not turning nearly as fast the laps as he was to start this race. So I believe the 95 playing a little bit of gamemanship here just to take care of his equipment. The 34 sitting in 2nd has had the 12 of Grandy on his back bumper, but the 12 just not able to do anything with him. Those two have been hooked up ever since they came off of pit road. Check in on the 89, Patrick Stein. As I mentioned, he is in 23rd. One of the cars that came down pit road first. Hit pit road on lap 19, and right now he is working his 36th lap of the race. Frank DiMaggio popping into a few of the shots here. So he is closing in on him. Eric Anderson in the 43, sitting in 22nd spot. Anderson is 42.5 seconds behind the race leader. So just about 10 seconds ahead of him. You want to reverse it around the other way. David Gainforth just ahead of Anderson. Gainforth in the 101, sitting in 22nd spot. We haven't done 38 laps without a caution, so I'm trying to sneak my water in from time to time. So if you hear me sipping on my water, don't mind that. It's all part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're your entertainment. Good little group of cars battling right here. Paul Turner in the 4, behind Eric Moore in the 5. Bob Rogerson and David Rogerson just ahead of them. So a 4-car battle here. We are on board the 4 of Paul Turner. Saw the 5 of Eric Moore take a peek to the inside of Rogerson, but couldn't make it stick. While that was going on, the 89 of Patrick Stein hit pit road. So he is making another green flag pit stop. The 95, last on pit road on lap 25. Majority of our field coming down on lap 25. So if that trend stays the same, we should see another round of green flag pit stops here in about 10 laps or so. Because we do got a little bit of an issue. The 78 hard impact into the inside wall, but he has gone spinning, and the yellow flag is coming out. The yellow flag out for the first time in this race. Bob Rogerson involved in this crash. That was a big hit. Big door slam. Take one more look. It looked like the 5 and the 78 making contact. Close hard racing, the culprit there. So our first yellow of the night. As the pace truck is going to pick up our leader. And now this is going to change everybody's strategy up just a little bit. With the field being bunched up, with us only being a handful of laps away from green flag pit stops, I expect we will see everybody come down pit road. And here they come. Is going to be a break for Patrick Stein. He is going to get back on the lead lap. That's the free pass. So with everyone hitting their pit stalls, and a heck of a pit stop out of the 12 of Mike Grandy Sr. He is going to win the race off of pit road. Frank DiMaggio missed his pit stall, had to back up. That cost him some time, allowing both Mike and Tom to squeeze on by. So now we have a new leader. We will restart with a new driver at the front of this field. All right, so with all 23 cars that started this race back on the lead lap, 89 of Patrick Stein, down and away from his pit stop, and he's going to catch up to the tail end of this field here. As the lights get ready to go out on the Chevy Silverado. Gonna stack them up 2 by 2, side by side. Frank Bell and Cole Gregg coming back down pit road to top off their tanks. Get a little extra splash of fuel. Well, with this field having topped off their tanks here and only able to get about 25 laps of fuel, it is very interesting because we're going to be about 5 laps short on fuel. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to save that much fuel. It's going to be very close. If we get a caution, you better believe everyone's still going to come down pit road if we get a caution, because tires are everything here at Indianapolis. So Mike Grandy, Tom Richter lead this field to the green, a flag for the restart, and away we go. Once again, the 12 and the 34 both get away cleanly. Looks like everybody able to get a good start. Nobody missing a shift or spinning the tires or crashing. Very tricky here in Indianapolis. That is always a possibility, but these guys handling it like the pros that they are. So the 12 of Grandy out in front of the 34 of Richter. They got single file coming off of turn 2. Maggio in the 95. Looks like he's got a good long run car. You remember at the start of the race, the 95 didn't take over the race lead till about lap 8 or 9, but once he got that lead, he stretched it out quite a ways. Andrew Kostka was very fast at the very beginning, and here he is making a move to the inside. So the 47 having some speed in the first part of a run, and he is trying to take advantage of that. However, Chris Dean in the 2 going to get around the outside of the 47. Jason Dalton in the 22 on the back bumper of the 47. Now he makes a peek to the inside and off into turn 1 side by side with a full head of steam. Dalton still hanging tough there through turn 2, but now slots in behind the 47. Mike Grandy just set his personal best lap time here at a 51.86. So he is out front trying to take full advantage of that clean air. And Frank DiMaggio just making it around Tom Richter in the 34 and now sets his sights on the 12. At 95, very good long run car, but the 12 trying to stretch it out. The 12 was no slouch in the long run either. Grandy in the 12 as DiMaggio has a quick little blink in and out. I will say, ever since the storms came through the Kentucky area, we had a storm come through last night. My internet has been a little bit sketchy. Hopefully we don't have any problems here tonight, but just know if something happens, I will try and be back online as fast as I can. Although so far we've had an outstanding race here tonight. My internet has been fairly perfect. As DiMaggio closes in on the 12. Down to just 26 laps to go. That means our fuel window is open to hit pit lane for your final pit stop now, as the 95 does make a move to the inside lane. All the way down to the grass. Completes the pass and heads off into turn 3 as the race leader. Like Grandy in the 12. Now finds himself under pressure from the 34 Richter. And Chris Dean right there as well, waiting for anyone to make a mistake, and he can pounce. On board with the 34. He is going to make a move to the inside. The 12 looked like the 12 washed up big time through turn 1. So that is going to give Richter a shot here, but Grandy able to make the move, and so too does the 2 of Chris Dean, as Richter, not a bad run. So all that battling going on has allowed the 95 to open up to a 0.7 second lead. Laps are winding down with just 24 laps to go. Maggio in the 95 trying to break the draft, but each lap he pulls away a little bit further. He is now up to a 0.6 second lead. Last time around, Maggio turned a 53.09, Grandy turning a 0.50. If you guys think that the drivers have put on a heck of a show for you here tonight, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to cheer for them in YouTube chat as well, because it will end up back in their peripheral view if they come back and rewatch this broadcast. So cheer for them loudly, cheer for them often. Don't forget to give them a thumbs up so that they can see that you appreciated the show that put on for you all here tonight. Maggio in that 95 doing an outstanding job, but the 12 of Grandy Sr. not letting him get away. Christine in the 2 right there as well. Tom Richter rounding out this 4-car group, just a little bit behind Richter. That is Jason Dalton in the 22. He will round out your top 5. Andrew Kotska in 6th place. Jerry Isaacs in the 51 right behind him. Cody Richardson in the 64, making a sweeping move down to the grass, but not able to do anything with it. Dave Sanders in the 77, finding himself in 9th, and then we got a knot of cars here. Mike Stiverson in 10th place in the 20 machine. He has gained 11 positions from where he started this race. So far, the biggest mover of the race. David Rogerson right behind him in 11th. Coleridge Fenimore in 12th. That one machine been struggling here a little bit tonight. Andrew Caldwell just behind the 5 of Eric Moore. Matt Shontosh in the 15, in 15th spot in the 80 machine. 16th place going to Crank Bell, and that 14 is the furthest back of all of our championship contenders. He is in 16th spot. Eric Anderson in the 43, finding himself in 17th. 18th place, Paul Turner. Cole Gray in the 88, finding himself in 19th spot. Patrick Stein is now in 20th. 21st, Dave Gainforth, and Bob Rogerson in 22nd in the 78. We saw Rogerson smack that wall in that 78, so a lot of damage on the 78, but he is still out there racing around, doing what he can. Only one car out of the race, and that is Dusty Martin. The 35 has gone behind the wall just a few laps ago. Not sure what he has gone behind the wall for. But the 35 could be done here tonight. We started 23 cars here at Indianapolis, and we are just down to 22. But with 19 laps to go, Frank DiMaggio in the 95, your race leader. He is being chased by Mike Grandy. Grandy not letting him get away. At one point, the 95 had a lead of 5 seconds after making a very long green flag run that included a round of pit stops. And Mike Grandy in that 12 has gotten a sniff of the lead, and he wants to wrestle it away from the 95. Frank Bell, Cole Gray already making pit stops. They're down and away. Dave Sanders in the 77 pulling on the pit road. So some different pit stop strategies taking place here. Meanwhile, the 95 and the 12 do stay out. Here comes the 95 of Frank DiMaggio from the race lead. He's going to make his final pit stop of the race with 16 laps to go. That is going to put the lead back to the 12 of Mike Randy. Now, when does the 12 come down pit road? Because he is going to be giving up about 2 seconds a lap here. That is really going to cut into that lead. However, Maggio going to have to work his way through quite a few cars once he comes back out of pit lane. See how this plays out. He is down and away, gaining speed down on the apron. Here comes the 12 and the 2. Tom Richter now staying out, so he's rolling the dice even more. So the 34, your race leader. The 95, one of the first ones from the lead to hit pit road, and he is on to the front stretch. Grandy down and away. There is Grandy just now leaving pit road. Frank DiMaggio, by virtue of an early pit stop, going to put a big gap on the 12. The 51 of Jerry Isaacs making a bold move here. Isaacs, 2 tire stop for the 51. That has put him behind the 95 and ahead of the 12 with 14 laps to go. Could be a massive jump for the 51 from when he came down pit road to when this whole thing cycles out. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll keep an eye on Isaacs and see where he ends up. The Richter in the 34, your race leader. Meanwhile, Andrew Kotska and Cody Richardson are in the midst of this mess. These drivers, not necessarily all of them. Crank Bell in the 14, not on the lead lap. The 47 is in second, the 64 in third. Everyone else in that group, those 4 other cars, all trying to clear them as they have made pit stops. The 12 has made it by the 51 very quickly. So Isaacs now in 8th place, but 3rd of all the cars who have made a pit stop. So Isaac's strategy call here could net him quite a few moves, but he has to try and hustle that thing a little bit. The 22 of Jason Dalton closing in on him very quickly. And Chris Dean there as well, and they're going to make a move down to the inside. So the 51 now going to get swallowed up by 2 more cars. But with 11 laps to go, Tom Richter in the 34 off of turn number 2. He has not come down pit road yet. Neither has the 64 of Cody Richardson. or the 47 of Andrew Kotzko. Eric Anderson in the 43, last on pit road on lap 42. And the 89 of Patrick Stein, another driver who has not been on the pit road yet for the final time. As the 88 of Cole Gray and the 4 of Paul Turner unlapped themselves by virtue of having fresher tires. Tom Richter can only watch as they motor on by. 14 of Crank Bell going to unlap himself. Matt Shontosh not too far behind in that 80. Down to 10 laps to go. We've only slowed 4 to 1 caution so far here tonight. As the 80 does unlap himself down the front stretch, but Richter's saying, hey, I'm the race leader. I'm not going to just let you have it. And then heads down turn 1 and hits the very high line and allows the 80 to squirt on by. So down to 9 laps to go. The 95 of DiMaggio and the 12 of Mike Grandy have made their final pit stops of the night. They are closing in very quickly on Richter, but they do have about 27-second gap to the race leader. Almost half a lap. And here comes Richter on the pit road. Andrew Kotzka right behind him, the 64 Cody Richardson going to stay out. Richardson going to lead, I believe, his first lap of the race here tonight. Eric Anderson in the 43 and Cody Richardson will be joined by Patrick Stein as the only 3 cars who have not made a pit stop. '64 going to stay out for another lap. Don't believe he has to come down pit road until about 5 laps to go. If he can get a caution, that would be a huge, huge break for him. Patrick Stein has pulled on to pit road. And now your race leader, Cody Richardson, going to hit pit lane. Gets to slow down to the pit road speed limit. Eric Anderson on the pit road, and here comes the 95. Cody Richardson pulls into his pit stall. The 95 makes it by him quite easily, and now he has a 2.9 second race lead over the 12 of Mike Grandy. Grandy enjoying a 2.5 second gap over the 2 of Chris Dean. 22 of Jason Dalton right behind him. Coleridge Fenimore in the 1, finding himself in 5th place. Dave Sanders now in 6th. 2 tire stop for Jerry Isaacs. Also, I do want to point out Fenimore taking 2 tires as well. That has put him up into 5th. Jerry Isaacs in 7th place. Eric Moore in the 5, up 15 positions from where he started here tonight to be sitting in 8th place, making a move to the inside of the 78. Rogerson's involved in that big crash, smacked that inside wall very hard, but he has been able to continue. And the damage pretty extensive on the 78. Ninth place going to the 46 of Andrew Caldwell. And rounding out your top 10 with 5 laps to go, that is David Rogerson in the 37. Cody Richardson in 11th place after running as deep as he could before coming down pit road, has reemerged in 11th place. But one car that's trying to walk away with this one has been the dominant car here tonight, has led a majority of the laps, has been within perfect strategy calls so far. That is the 95 of Frank DiMaggio. Coming down to 3 laps to go. This race has only been slowed for 1 caution here tonight. Has been chugging along very nicely, and the only caution we had was for Bob Rogerson in that 78. Outside of that, we have been running green flag racing. We've had 2 green flag pit stop cycles. So it has been an outstanding race here at Indianapolis. And the 95, these just 2 fingers in the air 2 more times around to try and seal the deal. Your championship contender here in this 95. Mike Grandy and Chris Dean sitting 2nd and 3rd. Grandy in the 12 has the 20 on his back bumper, but that is Mike Stiverson in the 20 machine. First car 1 lap down. But the 95 onto the front stretch. We're going to get the white flag this time. Final time around, the final lap here in the Wheels for Warriors race 13 at Indianapolis, and a dominating performance from the 95. Now just looking for 2 more straightaways and 2 corners. Down the back stretch for the final time. Mike Grandy 3.2 seconds behind. Nobody running close on fuel. Everybody going to be able to make it to the end of the 95. Just 1 corner away from picking up and win this season, and off of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. Frank DiMaggio in the 95 is going to win it here at Indianapolis. Mike Grandy in the 12 brings it home in second. Chris Dean in a third. Jason Dalton fourth. Tom Richter just finishing behind Coleridge Fenimore. Coleridge with a 2-tire stop. Excellent call for him. Going to get him 5th place. Jerry Isaacs, another one who did a 2-tire stop. He fell all the way down to 13th spot, so did not work out too well for the 51, but worked out just fine for everyone else. Patrick Stein in the 89 going to cross the start finish line. He brings it home in 18th spot. That was the last car to cross the start finish line. Take a look at our results while we get ready for the post-race show. Frank DiMaggio, your race winner. Mike Grandy in the 12 brings it home second. Third goes to Chris Dean. Jason Dalton fourth. 5th place Coleridge Fenimore. Tom Richter in 6th. 7th Dave Sanders. Eric Moore 8th. 9th place Andrew Kotska. David Rogerson in 10th. 11th Cody Richardson. Andrew Caldwell in 12th. 13th Jerry Isaacs. 14th place going to Matt Shontosh. 15th Cole Gregg. Craig Bell 16th. 17th Eric Anderson. 18th Patrick Stein. 19th place Paul Turner. David Gainforth in 20th. 21st Mike Stiverson. Bob Rogerson 22nd, and Dusty Martin early exit for the 35. He will be scored in 23rd place. With that being said, in the 95, burning it down a big time. Let's go ahead and get our post-race show kicked off by talking to our race winner, and that is the driver of the 95. Frank, you got your ears on, bud?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, oh man, I'll tell you what, that 95 looked like it had this race covered from start to finish. Great long run car, and with only one caution here tonight, it really played into your setup.
Yeah, at the beginning of the race, we were just trying to save fuel to make it on 2 stops, and we were on pace to do that, and then we got the yellow that bunched us all back together, and I think the turning point was the green flag stop. Grandy was right behind me when I pitted, and I think we had a little bit of a gap when we came out, so I think that was the turning point, and from there on out, we're just praying for no yellows, so it kind of worked out at the end, but it was a lot of fun tonight. Grandy, Tom, Dean, Costa, those guys were quick, and it was a lot of fun battling with them.
Well, man, that 95, a solid run here in the championship run. How's it feel to pick up a win like this?
You know, it's great to win anywhere. I mean, Indy is my favorite track. Actually stayed home from work so I could do this. So don't tell anyone, but yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks, and I don't know, it suits my driving style. I usually get a lot of long green flag runs as well. So just trying to keep the car in one piece, keep it out of the wall, because any kind of damage will kill you here, and you're able to stay somewhat clean other than that one pit stop we slid through our box and able to get the W.
All right, man. Well, an outstanding run. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Just want to say thanks to Wheels for Warriors USA. Appreciate what they do for us and allow us to do this racing. It's a lot of fun. Want to say thanks to my buddies at Long Shot Motorsports and Double Shot. Really enjoy racing with them. And yourself for stepping in for Dave. A lot of fun. Can't wait to go back and watch the broadcast.
All right, that is Frank DiMaggio, your race winner. Once again, Frank, congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Man, oh man, an outstanding run from the 95. Really put it to this field. But now let's move on to our second place driver. That is the 12 of Mike Grandy. Mike, you got your ears on, bud?
I do.
Well, man, a nice job. You bring it home in second place here tonight. had the race lead for a little bit, looked like maybe the only one that could challenge the 95.
Yeah, I mean, Frank's tough. Every week he's tough. I don't know. I mean, I think if I could have got out of the pits a little bit faster, I don't know where I lost the time. I thought I got in pretty quick and out pretty quick, but I guess not quick enough.
Yeah, the 12 had a great pit stop, though, under the caution that brought you out for the race lead. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. My guys skipped cleaning the windshield. We did 4 tires like everybody else. We took the minimum amount of fuel, and we just got in good, got out good.
Well, nice job, man. You bring it home in second place. A solid run here at Indy for that. Do you find Indy to be a track that's in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, well, I think they're all in my wheelhouse. Just the tracks don't think so.
I know what you mean. All right, man. Well, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give for this outstanding second place finish?
Oh, well, I mean, the pit crew definitely took care of me this race. So I appreciate that. Love my family. Appreciate Tom and Crank and everybody else that, gets this thing going. Our sponsors, Wheels for Warriors, Mad Sim Racing, you guys for sure. We love it when you broadcast. And shout out to all the veterans.
All right, that is your second place finisher. Once again, congratulations, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
How about that? An outstanding drive from the 12. But now let's move on to our final step of the podium. That is our third place driver, Chris Dean, the Dean Machine. Chris, how you doing, bud?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Oh, not too bad. An outstanding race here at Indianapolis sees you bring it home in third place.
Yes, sir.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, that 2 machine looked like it never really gave up the fight, constantly working your way forward, but some pit stop strategies maybe change things around for you from time to time.
Yeah, we pitted a little. I mean, we split that last run in half, and then on that last pit stop, I blew through my box and lost 3 seconds to second. So I maybe could have had a chance to fight for second, but that screwed that opportunity up.
Well, the 2 looks very solid here. Hardly a scratch on it. Some close racing around you. How many tense moments did you have out there?
Quite a bit. And it was tight. I really didn't want to get in an accident because I knew a top 10 would seal me into the next round of the playoffs. So I was trying to keep it clean, but at the same time, I'm a competitor and I want to go fast. So it is what it is.
Well, the 2 was fast enough for third place here tonight. Great job, man. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, shout out to Wheels for Warriors and what they do for our veterans. Shout out to my team and teammates, long shot, double shot, and then thank you for streaming this.
All right, that is Chris Dean, your third place finisher. Once again, Chris, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. An outstanding race done and in the books here tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed the show. And if you haven't done so yet, please make sure that you let the drivers know you enjoyed the show they put on for you as well. You can type into the chat room or give them that thumbs up. One of them will be just fine. So, guys, Dave will be back for the next race. Hope you all give him a hard time. Tell him I did a horrible job, whether I did a great job or not. Just make him feel awful for leaving you all to have me do the race for you here tonight. So, guys, thank you very much for letting me be a part of this race. I thought it was an outstanding race. Thoroughly enjoyed the racing action. Congratulations to all the drivers for putting on what I thought was a heck of a show. So, guys, till the next race, y'all stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.